Hey everyone, it's Cassandra from Brie on a Budget. I record videos every single month documenting my journey as a personal finance blogger to help other aspiring bloggers get to know what the journey is like. First, I want to address I dropped my phone last month and it has a crack through the lens. I went and bought a new one, new to me, the Google Pixel 2. I read that it had good video quality, but not so good audio quality. So I am going to be getting a microphone in the future, but for now I am recording with my old phone. So if you see a little prism-like effect when I move my hands around, that's what that's from. So let's get started without further ado into my 8th month blogging. And the first thing that I learned is you want to write what you want to write, not what you think you should be writing. And what do I mean by that? So, for example, let me tell you something a little bit about what happened to me this month. I pretty much learned that I don't really like writing about debt and debt payoff. The entire debt-free community is about to come for me. Before you do that, let me explain. I personally don't have a lot of debt. I don't have a lot of experience with debt. And for me, the writing process that I have for myself, I take very seriously. If there's a topic that I don't really know thoroughly from firsthand experience, I want to know what the people with this pain point are truly experiencing, like on an emotional level. So it's not like I'm just gonna, Google a couple articles and call it a day to learn about it. I'm gonna go into a deep dive on Instagram. I'm gonna search hashtags. I wanna see people's personal stories. I wanna see their vulnerabilities. I wanna see what really could be life-changing for them if they were to receive valuable information. And so the way that I judge my own articles is if I were that person experiencing those pain points, what would really make a difference to me? What would really be impactful positively that I could walk away from? And I wouldn't be able to judge that if I didn't really know how a person felt. I don't think that I would be effective in my writing unless I really went into a deep, long process of putting myself into their shoes. That's just the way that I operate. And so for me, that takes a lot of time. Once it's time consuming, sometimes I get a little fatigued, sometimes I get a little frustrated, and I'm not necessarily enjoying myself. So don't get me wrong, I definitely think paying off debt is super important. I'm definitely still going to be writing about it, but it's not going to be my central focus. It's important to write about something such as something so foundational as paying off debt in personal finance. However, I'm not trying to be known as the debt-free girl. I want to stay in my own lane, and paying off debt just really isn't that for me. So I will be talking about it and I will be writing about it, but I'm not going to make it a huge focus. I think that's important. As a blogger, you will figure out what you really are drawn to writing about and what you're not so much drawn to write about. And don't feel pressured to write about something because maybe you said you were going to write about it. It's fine. Just change it up. In my About Me, I think even right now, I say that I'm going to write about frugal living. I was very interested in frugal living and I still am, but however, I am not writing anything and everything focused on frugal living. Why? Because I'm not a frugal girl. You can change up what you write about at any point in time. You know why? Because you're the blogger. You decide what you want to write about. And so I think it's important to focus on writing about something that truly makes you feel good about it, good about sharing that knowledge with others, and not feeling so bad about writing things that you feel like you should be writing because you're a personal finance blogger or you're a whatever blogger you are, whatever your niche that you think that you boxed yourself into. You didn't box yourself in. Unbox yourself. It's okay. Move on. I'm not going to be your frugal girl. So probably after this video is done, I'm going to go into my About Me and I'm going to take that out. It's really that simple, but sometimes it's just not that easy. We just put a lot of pressure on ourselves to deliver on something that we told ourselves that we would. I just think that you should be writing what you want to write about. The second thing I learned in my 8th month blogging is the importance of building a personal brand for me. I am a huge follower of Gary Vee. I love Gary Vee. He's brought me so much value in my business so far. I definitely would not be as far along without his help. And he's really showed me the value of building your personal brand. I think for me, I'm not so much of a salesperson. I think there are plenty of people out there as bloggers who can sell themselves really well and can create a lead magnet like nobody's business. And that really works out well for them to drive traffic to their pages and to generate sales. That's just kind of not who I am. I would much rather build my personal reputation and play the long game. I want people to know what I'm about. I want people to know what I stand for. And if people would like to follow me, read my blog, even just follow along with my journey, I want that to be the reason why they come to see my page instead of thinking that I'm just going to sell them something. Don't get me wrong. I am doing affiliate marketing. I am collecting people's emails. I will be eventually at some point selling things here and there, but I'm not going to be a saleswoman. I'm not coming up with some sort of mastermind that I want you guys like to all join. That's just kind of not my thing. I just want to write about what I want to write about and somehow make money along the way and enjoy myself. So building the personal brand for me is really easy and really fun. I thoroughly enjoy going on Instagram and just showing my relationship with money every day and how I spend it in my everyday life. And I think I would just love to see so much more of that on Instagram. It's interesting that money touches our hands so many times, even though it's in the form of swiping your card. How many times do you make a purchase in one day? And yet, as much as we share things with one another on social media, we don't really talk about money that much, unless you're a personal finance blogger, which, if you're like me, that makes sense. But the rest of the masses, not really talking about money that much. And I think I would just love to see more people really showing how they manage their money, how they spend their money in their everyday life. I mean, I know I can't be the only one. I mean, that's the whole reason why Money Diaries exists and why we're all so obsessed with it. I know I am. I bought the book. I haven't had the time to read it yet, but I'm so excited. We all just want to know more about this taboo topic of how much we spend our money and how much we have and how much we don't. So for me, it's really fun and easy to come up with content demonstrating that and just generating a little bit more of a conversation to kind of get people thinking about how they spend their money. So it's really fun for me. This is going to be a challenge for me personally because I want to see how long it's going to take for me to get to 10,000 followers. I'm not even going to lie. It could be a year, it could be 5 years, it might never happen. Maybe I'm just terrible at it. Who knows? Maybe Instagram dies before I get a chance to really win. I don't know. We'll see. Doesn't really matter. I think it's just going to be a fun process. Plus, who doesn't want to swipe up? That way I can get all of you guys to move on to my blog from Instagram much more easily than clicking in the bio. This is also going to be really challenging for me because I know I'm going to have to take photos of myself for Instagram, and I've talked to my friends a lot about this. It just is uncomfortable for me. I don't know why. When I was younger, I was like a free spirit. I used to carry a camera all the time. I recorded even just everyday conversations. I had just tons of pictures that I would always take and print out. I haven't been on Instagram personally, on my personal page, in a very long time, so I'm not even used to taking pictures so much anymore. And I think I've become less comfortable with my body. And so this is going to be a really big challenge for me. Like really, really big. I honestly am so much more comfortable behind a camera. I would actually rather just spend my nose in like knees deep into a course that I'm learning that's incredibly difficult on how to move my business further than get all dressed up and like get pretty and take pictures and like learn how to pose and learn how to edit and then like learn how to create a whole grid and preset and all that fun jazz and like really putting yourself out there like that. I'm just not that person. It's very uncomfortable for me. But I am not going to let that stop me from doing it because, you know, in order to grow, you're going to be a little uncomfortable. I've been uncomfortable so many freaking times this year. I mean, this is just another one of those things. Probably the biggest though, probably the biggest. Moving on to the third thing I learned in my 8th month blogging is I realized I'm not as motivated by money as I initially thought. And I think it's important for you to find what you're motivated by. Recently, I watched a webinar from a blogger who I absolutely love, and it was really about how she maintains her business by selling her own products. And I know this is a great method for bloggers to make more money and just diversifying their income streams. But while she was breaking it down and she was talking about why she chose to run her business in this way, it was really about just taking full accountability for her profits and the money that she essentially gets to take home, and having that security within herself to know that her business is not vulnerable. All of her clients or her customers and the relationship she has with them cannot be broken based on how she runs her business, because everybody feeds through her email list, which I think is great. So she spends a great amount of she spends a good amount of time really just generating content that essentially leads back to making purchases for her online products. And I think that's great. I think that's amazing. If I had the level of success that she had in my lifetime, that would be clutch, okay? For sure. But the way that I want to go about it is definitely a lot different. I just learned I'm just really not that motivated by money. That could change in the future, but perhaps for me, I just want to enjoy what I'm doing. I don't know. If I don't like what I'm doing, I'm like really cranky and I am like really not motivated, and I loathe doing things that I just feel like are a little pointless or just don't bring me joy. My whole goal in life is to basically get away with doing what I want to do, like all the time. Like that's just a question I've always asked as a kid. So for me, I'm like, how do I generate an income to sustain my lifestyle by somehow doing what I want to do and not doing things that I don't want to do? I don't know. That's just the way that I have always thought. That's how I got into the situation I am now. How do I leave corporate America and still be able to do what I want to do and work on things that I want to work on? And here we are. So I'm not about to stop that now. And so I found for me that it's not really about the money. I just want to be able to enjoy what I do every day. Granted, there are going to be times when you're in blogging that you don't want to do some things. Okay, I hate technical web design. That is why I last month hired a freelance designer to take care of some stuff for me. Will I always have that money and the ability to do that? No, which is why I built my website from the ground up in the first place. Did I like doing it? Absolutely not, but it still was going to move my business further along and was going to help me in the long run. If what I do day to day starts to become less enjoyable somehow, and that's consistently happening, I'm the only person who put myself in that position, because I left my corporate job to live my life on my own terms. And so if I'm the one who's making myself miserable, I should probably do something about that. I've just become more aware of the fact that I really am motivated by trying to live a life doing things that I enjoy and just making money along the way. I just have to make sure that I stay consistent in that, in the things that I continue to do in my career. So really ask yourself, what are you motivated by? Are you really motivated by money, or are you motivated by what the value of money can bring you? Whatever it is, take some time to figure it out and really discover that and just hone in on that and stick with that. It's very easy to veer off from what your initial goal was because something is popular or you think you want something or there's something just in the distant horizon that you think that you should be doing. The closer that you can stick by what you're truly motivated by, the more fulfilled I think you're going to be. And that is it, you guys. That wraps up everything that I learned in my 8th month blogging. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this content, and I will see you guys next time.